since I'm not doing this the way. Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. I guess we had a little technical thing. I don't know what it was, but something didn't quite work right tonight. Okay, I got to pull up the agenda on my other screen since I'm not where I'm supposed to be.
Do your thing, go for it.
Okay. Now my dog is going to start barking little stuff. Okay. All right. Okay. All right, a call to order, which we're doing chairperson's report, which I guess I need to do now, and I need to read John Wang's meeting notice that came in this afternoon. So, Christian, perhaps you should read that.
Oh, hold on, Lou. I have to access it. You got to give me a second. Hold on. You got to give me a few.
All right.
Okay, here we go. So this is a statement from John Wang. You guys know him as the director from the Queen's Night Market. Dear CB4, as you probably know, the Queen's Night Market has been postponed indefinitely until it's safe to open up again. Last week, we published our cookbook called The World Eats Here, which features recipes and personal stories from over 50 Queen's Night Market vendors representing over 40 countries. The timing was a little ironic and bittersweet. In addition to that, we've been keeping busy mostly with our Fuel the Frontlines initiative. Fuel the Frontlines is a collaboration with the Queens Borough President and the Queens Economic Development Corporation. The program hires Queens Night Market vendors and local food businesses to feed healthcare workers on the front lines who are risking their lives to keep us safe and healthy. The project started 7 weeks ago and has raised $100,000 and provided nearly 15,000 meals to healthcare workers at all 9 Queens hospitals and 7 Queens EMS stations. Anyone interested in donating to the cause can do so by going to queensny.org or by contacting me directly. In other news, I've recently joined the COVID Response Coalition for Corona and Elmhurst, as well as the steering committee for the Coalition for NYC Hospitality and Tourism Recovery. I'd be happy to discuss those initiatives with anyone who is interested. I miss you all and hope to see you all again in person soon. Until then, please stay safe and healthy, and let me know if there's anything I can do to help during these trying times. John Wayne. All right, Lou.
Okay, I guess we go to the open session per the board members now.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Now, you're unable to see the who is actually in the meeting. I'm not correct, so I guess you'll have to go through each one, and we'll unmute them as you call their names for a few seconds. Correct?
Right. Do I have that list? Board member?
Yeah, it's the full board member list. Yeah.
Hold on. Okay, the board member list, I guess the last time came to me differently. I don't have it alphabetically.
Okay.
So I'm just going to read the different names and you can unmute the person as I call them then, okay? Because I don't know who's here. So. We're going to start with Mr. Chin.
How are you, Mr. Walker?
Good evening. How are you?
Good evening. Thank you so much. Everyone, good evening, everyone.
Mr. Chen, if you have anything you'd like, do you have anything you'd like to say? For you have the mic right now for about a minute or so. Is something you'd like to say? Because afterwards, we're okay. Thank you.
I saw about something that one beating up in the Chinatown. I tried to send to the city, those mayor or the governor of those people, let them know that. I don't know, our board member knows that too. Have you heard that? You saw that videos? And like 3-4 policemen by the side didn't do anything. What happened with that?
I'm not sure.
Someone's complaining is diminishing. They are.
Okay, thanks, Mr. Chen. Lou.
Yes, next one. Michelle Dunstan?
No, she's not. I don't believe she's here. Now, really quickly, if I could just really just remind everybody that if you are a community board member and you have dialed in via phone, or if you have dialed in via phone, you will not be able to speak tonight. We are only giving speaking rights to people who joined in via the app.
This is creating difficulty for the person to become more argumentative.
Hold on. Who's speaking?
More agitated and just talk.
I don't know. Who is that?
I have no idea.
I didn't unmute his mic.
Okay, yeah, it was Georgina. Georgina wasn't muted. All right, go ahead, Lou. I'm sorry. So again, I want to reemphasize to community board members specifically, if you are calling in via phone, you will not be able to speak tonight. We will not be unmuting the mics to attendees only. So just want to be clear on that. You will hear just for hearing. All right, Lou. Michelle Dunstan is not in. Moving on.
Lucy Shalero.
Hi, everybody. I hope everyone's fine. I want to do some thank yous. I've been around Catalina Cruz. I'm only around the block from her office, Catalina Cruz and Jessica Ramos and Moya's and Drum's office. I'm very proud of all of them. They're doing a phenomenal job reaching out to everybody, especially Catalina Cruz. Every day she's giving out food, and it's good food. It's the neighbors and I are very proud of her and for everyone else. And I just want to give an attaboy to some of the CB4 members, Dewan Tarek, Vixen Lucella, Michelle Johnston, and Alex Owens, I call her that. They too have been wonderful going out there and giving them themselves. I will later in my report, we'll talk about our CERT team and the great work they've been doing. You don't know how proud I am of our community right now. So I just have to say that. I'm also going to ask for some help. I represent many of the owners that are not rich. Our money is mostly in our homes. And I had a very hard time, April, paying the real estate tax. I was wondering if any of our politicians are looking at helping people like ourselves who are not working and who have homes, or people that have homes and they also have tenants that aren't working, if maybe, not that we're saying we're asking for a handout, but if we can pay installments for July's payment being added to October's real estate payment, just maybe cut it down and not be charged the interest, which is an 18% compound daily, and then no penalty. That would help. I don't know, hopefully the economy will pick up that we won't have to go that way, but it's something I would like to know if they're thinking about for people like myself and others. And again, I just wanted to say that, and for Christian too, he did some great work as well throughout this whole time. So I just had to state that. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Lucy. Thank you.
Okay, Alexander Owens.
Give us a second while we unmute.
Hey, I just wanted to say, so I don't know if I'll wait for Christian to announce this.
Entirely up to you. No, however you want, go for it. My report, that's the only thing I'll be reporting anyway, so go.
Okay, I'll just briefly announce that we've been working hard on setting up our first food pantry event this Thursday. We'll be giving out about 600 meals plus some canned items. Things have finally come together. We're working with, World Sikh Parliament, who have been more than generous in providing meals to us. And we hope to continue. This is a pilot, and if it works, we'll talk about continuing again. As somebody had mentioned, the need for food and insecurity. Food insecurity is real, and we've been facing it every day in our office. So the more food out there that we can give, the better.
Thanks, Alex. Yeah, I'll provide the details a little later on. Thank you.
Okay, Oscar Rios.
Oscar?
Yes.
Yeah, anything to report? Remember, this is not a committee report. This is just a public session. Any questions or concerns you have before the elected officials?
Well, yeah, I have a few concerns. I know that I've been for the past couple of weeks. I believe our homeless increased, especially on Broadway. I mean, like in one block, you could see at least 10 homeless people like on a sidewalk and stuff. So I mean, that's a concern. I'm hoping that we're doing something. I don't know. I mean, I don't know like what's the plan exactly when it comes to homeless on Broadway. So that's also a concern, and that's all.
Thanks, Oscar. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Oscar. Let's move on. Jennifer Gutierrez.
No, you're good to go.
Neil Roman.
Give us a second, Lou. Hold on. No, go.
Okay, Ashley Reed.
All right, Ashley, you're in.
Hi, good evening, everybody. No questions or comments from me right now.
Okay, David Chung.
Good evening. No questions or comments from me.
Thank you, David.
Okay. Aria Espinal.
No, moving on.
Gregory Spock.
Hold on, he is here. Just we unmuted. Gregory, you're unmuted.
Okay. My comment is sort of a personal one. So my wife's grandmother passed away from the virus this past week. So really, the biggest thing you can do is listen to everything that's being said. Don't make unnecessary trips. Don't, ignore social distancing guidelines. I know there's a lot in the press about how with the weather getting nice, people are starting to sort of be lax. So just, take care of yourselves and each other.
Thanks, Gregory. Sorry for your loss, man, really.
Thank you.
Gregory, my condolences to you and your family. I'm very sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear. Vincent Lucella.
Hello. Hello.
Yeah, you're in, Vinny. Go ahead, man.
I want to take the time to thank each and every board member of CB4 for their outstanding work. It's a complete honor to be part of such a caring and wonderful community board. A few notes. I want to speak with Gregory and Lucy. I'm going to be securing about roughly 5,000 face masks. I have a plan that I'd like to hand them out at parks to de-escalate the situation between the police department and the general public. Also, I want to announce Mr. Perna, who lost his father, is also coming back and opening up the ambulance base. We're going to be starting a once-a-week food pantry, which will be operating starting in the next 2 weeks. And we hope to be running it every week. And just thank you to Catalina, Francisco, and Jennifer, Jessica Ramos for all they did. And God bless all of you. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Vinny. Great news, man, as always.
Thank you. Rosa Wong.
No.
Karen Abreu.
No, sir.
Ruby Muhammad.
No.
Gurdeep Singh Narula.
He is here. Just give us a second. Hold on. Mr. Narula, you're on.
Yes, I'm on it.
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Good, good, good.
I want to say hello to everybody and take care of them. But I want to tell you that last week we also sending a meal to the North Shore Hospital, about more than 300 meals. So still we are working on it. Our foundation, the United States, still they are supplying the food to the church and other peoples.
Thank you, Mr. Narula.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Narula. Karen Abreu. Oh, no. Sorry. Whoops. Clara Salas.
Hold on.
Good evening, everyone. I just want to thank New Life Fellowship, Queens Community House, and the great uh, council member Moya and Carolina also for helping out the community with the food pantries and food giveaway. And many seniors that I have referred to them have called me and they have informed me that they have been receiving the boxes of food every other week. Thank you so much for the work you do. Thank you.
Thank you, Clara.
Dewan Tariq.
He is here. Hold on. Dewan, good evening.
Yes, hi. Good evening, board members. Thank you, board and respected elected officials. I'm going to try and keep this as brief as possible. First, just wanted to express my gratitude, for continuing to have these board meetings virtually. It's not the same. I would prefer in person with all of you. This will have to do in the interim. The most recent food bank, the Catholic Charities Brooklyn Queens hosted, was this past Friday at St. Bartholomew's. We served approximately 1,700 full shopping cart worth of groceries. Unfortunately, this Friday there will not be an activation in either Elmhurst or Corona. Unfortunately, the in-house staff at Catholic Charities will be because due to Memorial Weekend. I would like to apologize on that note. However, the two nearest food pantry locations for any families that would be interested in the confines of CB4 would be right outside CB4, actually in Woodside, St. Teresa, 50205 Street, as well as BVM St. Mary Winfield, 7031 48 Avenue. I'll be happy to send that via an email to the board to distribute. So that was point one. And I just have 3 points. So 2 more points. I very much want to respect the decrees by the governor and the mayor, and of course that our council members as well as the assembly members present here are working with our 2 representatives. While we want to be reasonable in our expectations of how much social distancing and restrictions we're placing, if we can all also bring our attention to the crime statistics that are being reported on the 110th precinct, specifically the increases in domestic violence, child abuse, directly correlating with the increased stay-at-home orders, and that are, depending on who you ask, bordering on house arrest. However, I'm not going to take that leap just yet. There's also been an increase in homicides, petty and grand larceny, as well as suicides. When this is all said and over, there won't be, a virus will live on for, unfortunately, forever. That's how viruses work. Maybe we can all also take into consideration how much damage we're doing in the short term, and also in the interim and long term, how much blowback this will have. And the third item that, if I may, on Lucy's points about the consideration for some exemptions or possible considerations of the real estate tax, that's a very reasonable request, if I may. Some of these other proposals that some of the local activists and community groups have proposed about rent striking while simultaneously receiving unemployment for those that receive unemployment as well as stimulus money. One could take a leap and say that's a slap in the face to property owners. They're continuing to pay property taxes, continuing to pay the banks, continuing to meet their mortgage and insurance obligations. So we want to try and balance a reasonable approach to the best of our abilities for all, not just a select few. If that's something we can all consider, it might, in the short term, we can all get through this just a little bit better. That's all. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you
so much, Dewan. Well spoken. Thank you.
Linda Corral.
Linda she is in the meeting, but she's not able to speak right now. Thank you.
Okay. James Lisa,
No, sir.
Matthew McEnroy.
Yeah, hold on. He is actually here. Matt, you're unmuted. How are you, sir?
I'm well. Thank you, Christian. I hope everybody is well. Nothing to say or report. It's a tough little period we're going through, but there are a lot of people that have it a lot worse. Have a good night, everybody.
Agreed, Matthew. Well said. Thank you.
Thank you. Ravina McGowan.
No, sir.
Okay. Alton Derek Smith.
No, he's not any other.
Okay. Marilena Giampino.
No, sir. Unable to attend.
Okay. Sandra Munoz.
She is here. Just bear with us while we unmute. Sandra, good evening. You're unmuted. How are you?
Good evening, everyone. It's good to see everybody. I agree, this is not the same as being in person, but it is the second best. Very briefly, I want to thank each and every one of you for continuing to care for our community, all our elected officials, Jessica, Francisco, and Catalina for outstanding jobs. I see them constantly in social media with their sleeves rolled up and really helping our communities. And I also want to give a special shout out and thank you, Tariq, for being involved with St. Bartholomew, with Catholic Charities, and thinking of St. Bartholomew, to St. Bartholomew for, for giving to the community, for being a part, even though the parishioners are not there, the churches are empty, it continues to serve its community. And one thing also, Elmhurst is the epicenter of the epicenter. On my block, I have many neighbors that have lost their lives to this disease. It is a disease of the poor, basically. I mean, I know a lot of people are getting hit with this, but the majority, statistically, it's Black, brown people, and poor people. And you know that this community is filled with many immigrants that do not get the benefits that documented individuals do. So in any way that we can help, Vincent, thank you very much. Please send that email. I have a lot of students. I teach Sunday school. I have a lot of students whose parents are just do not have enough. And so if that would be great if we could get emails about anything that's out there that you all hear about, because I sent all my parents to the different food pantries and wherever there's available food, because that's what they're in need the most. So that's basically it. And thank you very much.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you, Sandra.
Thank you.
A. Red Sevilla.
No, sir.
Okay. Minwin Yang.
Can you hear me?
She is in. Yes, Minwan. How are you? Good evening.
Oh, hi. Good evening, everyone. This is Minwan, and every day, my office receive a lot of phone calls about the unemployment insurance application. So we help a lot of cases on that. Just wanted people to know that if you need some help, if you live in our district and you need help to apply for UI, and you can contact our office.
Thank you so much, Minwan.
Okay, Alexa Ponce.
Alexa is here. Just hold on.
Hello, everyone. I have nothing to report and no concerns at this time.
Thank you so much, Alexa. Appreciate it.
Okay, Christian Gonzalez.
She is not in.
Patricia Martin.
No, sir.
Sylvia Martin. Sylvia Martin.
No, sir.
Christian Romero.
He is in. Just bear with us.
Hi, can you hear me?
Christian, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Christian. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Nothing much from my personal end. I'm happy to hear everyone. My condolences to Gregory and your family. Um, I have some updates for D1 and Lucy that maybe I can touch a little more on later on when I do my report for Representative Meng. But that's it from my end here. Thank you.
Thank you, Christian.
Thank you, Christian. Marcello Testa.
He is in.
Good evening, everyone.
Marcello.
Yeah, good evening, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Good evening.
Good evening. Nothing to report.
Thank you. Good to see you, man.
Lucy Cesar Scully.
She is not in. Moving on.
Edgar Moya.
He is in, just listening, but he's unable to speak right now. Hi, Edgar.
Okay. Rapinder Raj.
No, sir.
Fernando Ruiz.
No.
Salvatore Lombardo.
No, sir.
Okay, did I miss anybody?
Actually, I think even if you did, we reached everybody who's in the panel right now, so you're good to go. We can move on to the next item.
How do I say
okay?
Get me? How do I say even get me?
Oh, wait, no, there she goes. There she goes. Georgina Oliver. There she goes. Georgina, sorry.
Why you guys ignore me
There
all
you
the
go.
time?
You're good to go. Go
I have
for it.
nothing to say anyway. Thank you.
Okay. You did call it, ain't it? But okay.
There we go.
In any case, we'll start with the elected officials now. Senator Charles E. Schumer, or Representative Christian.
No, sir, nothing.
Gillibrand. Okay. From the House of Representatives, Grace Ming.
Hold on, Christian.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, everyone, again. I'm just going to switch hats for a second. On behalf of Congresswoman Grace Meng, hope everyone and all your families are all healthy and well, including everyone who's listening in the call. So just some updates. As I'm sure there's a lot of things on everyone's mind now. In regards to what Lucy and Dewan were mentioning, for homeowners, completely agree. The Congresswoman completely agrees. There's a HEROES Act that she voted on Thursday, and the HEROES Act, amongst many things, includes about $200 billion in renters and homeowners assistance, hazard pay for all frontline workers, money for New York State, and protections for our elections and the U.S. Post Office. So the bill is now in the hands of the United States Senate, and the Senate has to pass it. We will see how that goes, and I'll keep everyone informed as far as what sort of provisions are in the bill that will be helpful to our communities. As Sandra mentioned, communities especially that have been hit hard, minorities, Black, Brown, all of these communities are most affected by this virus. I say that with all respect because I know the virus affects anyone, regardless of class, creed, color, religion, but it is hitting our minority communities very hard. Um, Other than that, I did want to touch on something Minwen did touch on, unemployment insurance. Our office does receive a lot of calls on unemployment insurance, like her office does. Um, but we are at the federal level, so it's not directly under our jurisdiction. We usually refer over to your state senator, but recently, and by recently I mean 2 hours ago, the Congresswoman put out a press release that the Internal Revenue Services, IRS, established a special telephone line for taxpayers who have questions about their coronavirus relief payments. So if you haven't gotten your payment, if you haven't gotten your stimulus check payment, this is different from UI. But if you haven't gotten your stimulus payment, because we also get a lot of calls regarding your economic impact payment or your stimulus check, if you haven't gotten it or it doesn't reflect on the website a correct status on your check, you can dial in this number. I'm going to say it here for anybody interested. I'll give you a second to write it down. So the number from the IRS, again, this is for the economic impact payment benefit. This is the stimulus check. That number is 800-919-9835. So this number is to check in on your check, answer any questions about if you're eligible, if you'll be getting it, when you'll be getting it. The IRS has been rolling these checks out, and a lot of people still haven't received it. And if you are one of those people, I just want to assure you, you're not alone. A lot of people are waiting for these checks and haven't received them. There is a talks about a second check. There is a second round of benefits that is included in the HEROES bill that passed the House. More details on that. Again, if it passes, when it passes, I'll let everyone know. There might be some people waiting for two checks instead of one, but that's okay. If you have any questions, this is the number again, 800-919-9835, or you can call me or our office. I'm happy to help anybody. And I think that's it for me. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Christian. Appreciate it.
Okay, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Hi, everyone. This is Michelle Hernandez from the Office of Congresswoman Ocasio-Cortez. Some community updates. We're hosting our next monthly town hall this Thursday, May 21st at 6:05 p.m. I'll share a link in the chat box with the Zoom registration. So this virtual town hall will be via Zoom, and we'll be joined by the Assistant Commissioner at the Mayor's Office to End Domestic and Gender-Based Violence, as well as the Commissioner of the New York City Department of Sanitation and the COVID-19 Food Czar. There will be opportunity for a Q&A during the town hall. As for legislative updates, Christian touched on a good chunk of it. I'll provide maybe some additional bits of information. So this past Friday, the House voted on the HEROES Act, which is a $3 trillion legislative package designed to provide financial relief to communities and families. And it does include, as mentioned, $175 billion in renting and housing assistance. Funds to reduce incarceration and financial relief for immigrant communities. And we are putting out weekly COVID-19 newsletters. They go out in English and in Spanish and include resources and frequent answers and questions. And the last bit of information that I wanted to share is about our census. So East Elmhurst and Corona are reporting at just 30%, which is almost 30 points below the national average. Of course, recognizing these are also some of the most hit neighborhoods. But if you have the chance, or you have, you're checking in with your neighbors and loved ones, do mention the census to see if they can take a moment to fill that out. They'll play a huge role as we think about recovery and relief and resiliency plans moving forward. And as always, our office has been open and teleworking. So folks, we've been receiving and accepting cases and processing cases online on our website or via phone. And I'll, as I mentioned earlier, share the link in the chat box to registering for this week's virtual town hall. Thank you.
Yes, from the New York State Assembly, Brian Barnwell. Anything, Christian? Is Brian Barnwell around?
No, sir. Nobody from Barnwell's office that we can see.
Okay. Michael Dendecker.
No, sir. Moving on.
Jeffrey Ann Aubrey.
Nobody in. No.
Catalina Cruz.
She was in earlier, had to step out, but she'll be back around 8 p.m. But no, she's not in right this second.
Okay. New York State Senate, Michael Janaris.
No, sir.
Jessica Ramos.
Just a second. Nobody. No.
Okay. Toby Ann Stavisky.
Hi, this is Meiman again. I just want to explain the way we work with DOL is we can line form to DOL addressing the issue of the constituents. So normally, from my experience, they will deal with the case within like 1 week. So it's kind effective. So if constituents have any question, if they submit the application for a long time and they're still pending, or they got denied but they have a question, or they filled out the form wrong, all those problems, they can contact our office if they live in our district. And our office number is 718-445-0005. And nobody will pick up the phone in the office, but people can leave the voicemail and we always get back to them.
Thank you. Thank you, Minwen.
Thank you. From the mayor's office, Jessica Shabowski.
No, Jessica is not with us tonight.
Okay, from the New York City Council, Francisco Moya.
Is anybody here from Moya's office? No, sir.
Daniel Drum.
Yes, we do have Kelly here from Danny's office. Just bear with us.
Okay.
Good evening, everyone. This is Kelly from Council Member Daniel Drum's office. The council member sent his regard. He wished everyone and your families are doing well and staying healthy. So from our office update, let's continue to work remotely. If anyone have question or need help, you can always call our office. And you need to voice message, and then one of our staff will get back to you as soon as possible. Our office phone number is 718-803-6373. So our office still offering legal services for general and for immigration. Now we do offer flexible hours until mid-June. So anyone who needs a legal appointment, you can reach out to our office. We can set up an appointment anytime. Basically, from Monday to Friday, the appointments will be available. And our office also receive a lot of calls about unemployment insurance, and we are taking those cases and and send the inquiries directly to the Department of Labor. If anyone have question about their unemployment, they can also reach out to our office. And that's it for me. I wish everyone have a good night.
Thank you. From the Queensborough President's Office, Sharon Lee, or a representative. Nothing. Christian, nobody.
No, Lou. No, I mean, John, I see him in, sorry, I was muted. I see him there, but he's not speaking. So you have that statement, correct?
Yes, hold on. I didn't anticipate having to read it. Okay. Hold on a second. In the meantime, we'll go to the New York City Comptroller's Office, Scott Stringer, or a representative.
James? James Mangialuso, I do see him there, but no.
Okay, from the New York City Public Advocate, Jamani Williams, or representative.
Just hold on, give us a second. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we're having some tech difficulties with getting. So look, let's do this, guys. I mean, 'cause this is exactly what we should be doing as well as last time. Is that understand something? Everybody who spoke tonight, including any links, we will send it all to you guys within the next 24 hours. Anything that was said, any relevant links, et cetera, et cetera. So, but right now we're unable to get Zachariah to speak. All right, moving on, Lou. Oh, wait,
Okay.
Zach, I saw you speaking. Wait, Zach, I saw you speaking. No, no. No, never mind. Okay, let's keep it moving.
Okay. From the Queens DA's office, Melinda Katz or a representative?
No, sir.
Nothing. Okay. I can't find that document on my other phone. Okay. Try to find the document. Sharon Lee, okay, I think here it is. Okay, this is a rather long document that I'm not going to read. I will just read the important headlines of it. The virtual Queens Job Recruitment Fair was on Wednesday, May 13th. Fresh Direct's Operation 5 Borough Food Drive continues through July. Queens continues to help fuel the frontliners. IKEA donated thousands of household products to Queens families. Distributing personal protective equipment also across Queens. We have a Get Out the Count and Get Out the Vote drive being sponsored by the Borough President's Office. That is obviously the census and the upcoming elections. And community board appointments will be made at the end of May. And that ends that report.
Thank you, Lou.
Okay. Now, next item on the agenda. Hold on one second. I got to get back because I completely had to go out of this. All right, we have the committee reports now. Census.
She's not in.
Consumer Affairs.
Just hold on. Are we on mute?
Nothing to report.
Alex, Alex, you really quickly because you happen to be the one speaking. Lou, I haven't done any report yet. And I'm actually going to report on the item that Alex is likely going to report on. So once she's done with her report, I'll go in. Go ahead, Alex. You can go first.
You mean about the food bank?
No, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just Consumer Affairs Committee meeting, but just because I was skipped over, I don't know if you're going to discuss it, but now would be if you want to mention it really quickly, and then I'll give the details.
I haven't set the next Consumer Affairs Committee meeting yet, but on Thursday, as I mentioned before, we're going to be hosting our first food pantry to benefit local community members who have lost their jobs and those who are food insecure to begin with. It's going to be to celebrate the month of Ramadan, but it will continue. We are hoping it will continue beyond this, but it depends on just how this Thursday goes. It will start at the food distribution will start at 4 p.m. and it'll go until 6 p.m. Volunteers can arrive around 2:30, and those who would like to volunteer, please reach out to Christian to find out how to do so.
Correct. All right, so thank you, Alex. Very quickly, guys, I promise I don't have much to report. As I told you before, the community board, we're still functioning as well as we possibly can. We're doing virtual meetings, virtual committee meetings. We're still holding everything that we would normally hold, save for the fact that, the Euler process and, all that type of stuff. But to touch on Alex's announcement about the food pantry. So she approached us about a month or so ago saying that the halal, in the month of Ramadan, there just aren't enough halal meals being distributed to the community. We know that the Office of Catalina, the Assemblywoman Cruz is doing something, but we tried to bring something to the Elmhurst area. So we reached out to our partners over at the St. James Episcopal Church on 84th and Broadway, and they immediately opened the doors to us, to allow us to run a food pantry / food distribution center. At this point, just because it's our first time doing something like this, and because we're still trying to muscle up volunteers and get it moving, it's only going to be this week so far. But if all goes well with the proper manpower and the proper supplies, we might be able to run this, on a more, permanent basis, at least until this crisis is over. So very quickly, and in the end, it was down to the wire, and that's why the announcement is coming on such short notice, but we did manage to get it done nonetheless. It is, in fact, a Ramadan halal meal and food distribution. A local organization, it was the World Sikh Parliament, is actually providing us with 600 meals along with some canned goods that we're going to be giving away to families on a first come, first served basis. The event's going to take place this coming Thursday. It's from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. If you are a community board member specifically, or anybody from the public who would like to volunteer to join us, please send an email to the board office right away. It's QN like Nancy 04 at cb.nyc.gov. While the event only takes place from 4 to 6 p.m., there is a half hour of breakdown as well as an hour or so of setup before we start. I myself will be there around 2:30, so if you want to start around 2:30, 3 o'clock, that'd be amazing. But I can't emphasize to please call before you come, only because we may have too many volunteers and we don't want to already add more chaos to what could already be a chaotic event. The NYPD is on board with us. They are helping us out. They'll be there to, enforce social distancing, et cetera, et cetera. And again, we will be sending you guys a physical copy of not only this flyer, but everything else that was discussed tonight. So you could expect it in your inboxes as early as tomorrow morning. And yeah, Alex, is there anything else you want to add to it, or just bear with us? Go ahead.
You pretty much covered everything. Because this area is like the most diverse region in the country. A lot of the mutual aid that's been going on, there's been some unique challenges. And so I know between the multiple religions in the area, Buddhist, Muslim, Christian, Sikh, Jain, Hindu, some of these needs when it comes to food pantries aren't being addressed, as he had mentioned. So this provides a unique opportunity to be able to serve that population and ensure that everybody is being taken care of in the community.
Thank you. And I also want to do a quick shout out. While we will be providing our own PPE to the best of our abilities, not only is the World Sikh Parliament providing volunteers, but we also have Congresswoman Meng is going to be blessing us with some PPE for the volunteers. It was just an in-kind donation, just amazing. Thank you so much, Congresswoman, for that. So yeah, if all goes well, we will be there Thursday from 4 to 6. And any volunteers, again, I cannot emphasize, please pre-register. I'll be the one managing volunteers. You can make my life a lot easier by just letting me know ahead of time that you'd like to join. It's just about 4 hours. If you get turned down, please understand, it does not mean that your help is unwanted. It's just that it's unneeded, and it is a pretty small operation, only 2 hours long. So while we appreciate the help, if you get turned down, that's the only reason. And that's my only report. Thank you. Lou?
Environmental?
Yes. Hello?
Oscar.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, not much to report. It's just that, like in March, we made like great strides with, I think the city banned plastic bags. That was going to start in March, but unfortunately, the whole COVID thing happened, and we had to push everything back. I believe they pushed everything back to May 15. I gotta check the date again. I believe they pushed it back again. Just that was it. I mean, it was a shame because I was we were like fighting hard for it for a long time to ban plastic bags, and when we finally got it in March, unfortunately we had to push everything back again. So I'm just saying that it was unfortunately. That's all.
Thank you, Oscar. And I know you were a big proponent of that. I remember those fights, Bo, so trust me, I could.
Yes.
All right, health.
Ashley's here.
Mr. Chairman. Hello, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Nothing to report. I didn't have a meeting scheduled, but I just want to say thank you to all the board members who have been out and active. I know there's a lot of mutual aid support happening right now, so I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been active, and just to encourage everyone to continue to reach out and to check on your neighbors and see people, a lot of people are suffering in silence. So just continue to be vigilant and check on your neighbors, and if you can help, reach out. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Thank you. Parks.
Hold on, Gregory is here.
Back on, so it's not so awkward. So just two announcements. One I thought actually was going to be made by Queensborough president, but I'll just make no mention of it because I read it today. This Thursday, May 21st at 11 a.m., they're doing a virtual Memorial Day commemoration. And the reason I mention it is because we were actively involved in Elmhurst Park's Vietnam Veterans Memorial. So that I understand there will be a live component with some of the veterans there. Christian, can you fill in any details on that? That's what I was seeing online.
I can certainly send the details. Yes, I'll send them to you. What you got it. I don't have access to it right this second. I don't want to hold this off.
Yeah, sure. And then the other announcement I have, as you know, I'm vice chair of the CAB, the Community Advisory Board for Flushing Meadows Corona Park. We're having our meeting Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. I encourage you all to join that. As you're probably aware, one of the major things in the city budget to be cut is parks, and they're so vital, especially as we're seeing the weather get nice and creating new ways in which to interact at a safe social distance space. So Flushing Meadows is one of those parks, and we really need to how to assist the Alliance in fundraising, push them further because they're not doing that, and also really serve the community and their needs. So that's again Wednesday, May 27th at 7 p.m. So I hope to see you there, and I can make sure Christian has the Zoom virtual details too.
Will do. Thank you so much, Gregory. I'll definitely get it to you guys.
Okay, transportation.
All right, I just spoke to Linda. She does not have anything to report. She sends her regards.
Okay, thank you. Public safety and Homeland Security.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. We had a quorum at our May 12th meeting. We had a phone conference, and I just want to state that I'm going to talk about CERT for a moment, about volunteering their time. Just remember, CERT does not get compensation at all for all the work they do. We had a group of us at the very beginning of this shutdown in March up to now, distributing boxes that weigh almost 25 to 30 pounds from a large delivery truck or from the airports to go into other vehicles that are spread out through our Queens. I'm very proud of them. This is a very big and heavy job to do. For those that are over 55 or 60, the NYCM provided other work for the CERT teams. They provided that we could call or do a survey online to reach out to hotels and hostels to look for housing for the homeless and to look for those that may have to stay in quarantine due to the fact that they have COVID-19. Another thing we're doing is the buddy system, pretty much what Ashley was talking about. They insist that we reach out to our neighbors and have our neighbors reach out to neighbors, families and friends. And as she stated, many people are very proud, don't want to say anything, don't want to even say that they have food. I've been suggesting that they go to Catalina Cruz and all these others, not to be shy about it or proud about it. It's imperative that they stay healthy and well, and that the whole purpose of this is to stay connected. I'm just letting you know that it's been very successful. As for people that are victims, we had a meeting about Safe Horizon coming and speaking to us about human trafficking. And a lot that was brought up by Dewan about domestic violence and everything was also brought up at that meeting. It's a way of connecting with people, knowing what to say and how to reach out to them, to allow them to feel free to speak to someone. We don't look like officers, so we found that that's a great bridge in which to help our community. I reached out to the firehouse, 289 Ladder Company 138. This is on 97th and 4th Avenue to find out how they're doing with the COVID. They had 15 members who came down with COVID-19. I'm very happy to say they're all back and working at the firehouse. They've been busy with other things such as again, as I stated, over power surges and some people forgetting that they're leaving things on top of the stove. So that's been part of their problem this month, as well as going to homes of those who they are trying to get to Elmhurst Hospital that may have COVID-19 problems. The 110 precinct had from late March, 30 officers out 6. 12 were diagnosed with COVID-19. Also, I'm glad to report they're all back at the precinct and doing well. We asked about if they have enough PPE. They said at this time they have enough supplies, but keep making that orders. And if anybody wants to donate to the 110, they'll be grateful for that. I asked about the new guidelines for under the shutdown for nightclubs, restaurants, and grocery stores and parks. They're very happy to say they haven't given out any summonses. The majority of our businesses and parks have been 100% compliance to the shutdown rules. They are educating people as they go out to the streets near trains and the parks how to keep that so many distance away from each other and to wear masks. It's imperative for that, so they work on that. They're also looking at 311 calls that come in for non-compliances, those that they feel are restaurants that are open with an overcrowded group of people. They look into it, and so far everyone's been working with the 110 on that. I did bring up about crime in the area. They did touch on domestic violence and such, but the big thing has been burglaries. Stores that are closed for a long time have been hit, as well as some people in homes. These are people they watch very carefully as they leave the house. And the biggest thing has been vehicles such as trucks and vans. So they have the anti-crime working on the early morning shift, let's say from 1 to 5, when these are very active. We talked also about the homeless, especially on Broadway, for Oscar who asked about that. They had a meeting with MTA and with Breaking Ground and some churches I hear. I'm not sure which ones those are. I believe it might be St. James. Work along the Roosevelt Avenue number 7 line, because they also look for places near stores that are open so they can pack their belongings, and especially at Broadway is the biggest one. So they're going to work on a sort of like a mini task force to see if they can get after that. I don't know when that's going to be implemented though, but they are working on it. Graffiti, I'm very proud to say that we got an attaboy from the 110 because Christian made us look good by supplying paint. So we'll be able to keep up with graffiti. So I thank him again on that. Now for the liquor licenses. I know that Christian explained to you what we're doing. We're trying to be fair to all the businesses. COVID-19 is going to affect everyone. I don't even know how many will be back up. Vanity had at 7714 Queens Boulevard a large list of problems. They've had a history of problems for a long time, a lot less than they usually have. So we sent a letter out to SLA that we're asking them to work on those problems, and hopefully by next time they won't have as much as what we saw the night of the meeting. And I think that's being fair at this point. And that's my report. So anybody would like to say anything or ask any questions?
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you. Let's move on.
Okay.
ULURP and zoning.
No, he is not here, Lou.
Okay. Youth services.
Hold on. Alexa, you are unmuted. Good evening.
Hello. So
Hold on. My Alexa went off. Hold on.
Okay, so just as Christian said in the last month's board meeting, we have officially canceled the youth fair because of everything that's going on. It was very sad to do that officially, but I think that that's the best decision right now. At this moment, there is not another meeting date. However, I did email the board members, and anyone can feel free to email me with any concerns or any projects that you think that is appropriate for the Youth Services Committee to take on in the future. But at this time, there's no current meeting scheduled at this time, and I guess we're gonna see what happens.
Thank you so much, Alexa. Appreciate it.
Okay, Christian, I don't know if I really want to go through this.
Well, no, actually, Lou, before you go anything else, we have two elected officials just entered. First one is Assemblywoman Cruz has joined us, and Councilman Francisco Moya also joined. So we're going to unmute them, and I guess in the order, what order do you want to go in? You want to do state first, or council first?
Okay, let's do, I guess let's do state first. Yeah, we can
Okay.
state first.
Assemblywoman Cruz is live. Good evening.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
You're a little low.
How about now? Is this better?
Yeah, a little better. Let's go.
Thank you. No, thank you. Sorry, I have not been able to join us for your.
No, you're sorry, Catalina. You're still a little too low. Is there maybe a little more?
Now?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so let me know again if it sounds a little bit low. Thank you so much for having me today. I wanna thank you all for the work that you.
No. It's pretty bad. Maybe I don't know. Maybe the other maybe
Going
it
in
has.
and out a lot. Something's wrong. I don't know.
Yeah.
How about now?
Had a good connection.
Somewhat. You're there, but you're not quite. Like it's just a little. If you could just speak directly into the mic, I guess that'll make all the difference. But you are somewhat.
Why don't we do this? Why don't you let Francisco
Okay.
while I sign on via my phone to see if that's better, because this is through my laptop.
Not a problem. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll
Please
sign on
do.
my laptop.
You got it. I'll see you soon. All right, Lou. Councilman Moya is in. There he goes. Councilman Moya is in.
How are you?
Okay.
Nah, man. There you go. Much clearer. Sorry about that, man. You had some problems getting in.
Yeah, no. The technology issues that I face here. But anyway, I want to be very quick. I know you guys have been on for a while. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Lou, again. And thank you to all the board members for the wonderful work that you are all doing, especially during these tough times. The numbers that have come out yesterday in the zip codes of seeing the most deaths in the city of New York, 11368, 11369, they're all in our communities right here. It's really showing the racial and economic disparity that we face here in this community. When you see these numbers, it just makes you want to cry. These are our neighbors. We lost a fellow board member. We've all been impacted by this. It's really difficult for me as someone who was born and raised in this community to see the suffering that's going on right now. It is critical that we get this administration to really start righting the ship on all of the inequalities that we have faced here. The zip codes that are in the financial district and in Battery Park had 0 deaths.
Yeah, I saw that. That was shocking. Unbelievable.
Our folks don't have the second homes out in the Hamptons or in upstate New York to go ride this wave out. We're here. We know that this is a working class community, a lot of undocumented immigrants here, small business owners that are suffering here. They showed why that there's a big racial disparity. The Latino and African Americans, the percentages of folks that could actually stay home and telecommute for the Latino community, it was only 16%. And for the African American community, it was only 24%. In the city of New York. What does that say? Is that the majority of them are in the hospitality or service industry. And they're the ones that are delivering the food to our homes while we get to, stay here in quarantine. And they're the ones that are manning the cash registers and stocking the aisles in our supermarkets so that we can get the food we need to keep going. we saw the number of deaths that have taken place. Reason why I was the first one to call out to really start an emergency burial fund that would alleviate a lot of the pain that families were going through, especially here in this community. There's a program through HRA that provides burial assistance. It doesn't provide for cremation. They only were giving up to $900 as a reimbursement for any burial costs. But you need a social security number. A couple of things wrong there. We all know that the cost of a funeral to bury a loved one doesn't cost $900. Number two, if you're not working, if you can't pay the rent, how are you going to be able to put money up front and wait for a reimbursement that comes back later? So myself and Speaker Corey Johnson were the first ones to actually talk about this. There was a number of articles that were written about this. We finally got the mayor to move on this. There's over $20 million emergency fund that is now open to all New Yorkers that have suffered from COVID deaths. It doesn't matter your status. You can apply. There's going to be a list of local community-based organizations that will help administer the applications for the fund. So it's not just for burial costs. It actually goes to cremation. We've moved the needle so that it's not going to be $900 now. It's going to be up to $3,500, which would help any family that is in need or in assistance for this. We made that announcement about a week and a half ago, and we're very excited to be the first ones rolling this out. So we have some positive news there, but also if people are having problems paying their rent, they can reach out. It will be through this fund where they will administer some assistance. Last week, unanimously passed a real strong piece of legislation that goes to help our small business owners, in particular our restaurants. It goes after the third-party apps like Grubhub. So if you have your, smartphone and you want to order your food through this app, they were charging up to 30% of services that they weren't even providing to some of these for the restaurants here in the city of New York. They were charging for delivery service when they weren't even having anyone deliver the food. The restaurant was doing it themselves. The numbers in which they were charging for other expenses, for processing fees, for telephone calls. And so if you called the restaurant and you were looking at their menu and they didn't have what you wanted and you didn't order anything, the third-party app like Grubhub was still charging these restaurant owners with a fee for the phone call that when we looked and did the analysis of this, it was up to $9 for a phone call that was less than 2 minutes. It's outrageous that they would be doing this in this time of an emergency here when our small businesses are suffering. Now we capped it so that they can't charge these restaurants more than 15%. They will not be charged for phone calls that aren't placing an order. We're really going after this to protect the small business owner, providing small business owners with zero interest loans. We've also seen just the incredible lines of people, and I know I was on the line before and I was listening to folks about the food pantries. Just so you know, I fund 6 food pantries in my councilmatic district. We have seen the need to expand that. Myself and the speaker announced $25 million in emergency food relief to all of our pantries, to the city. And that's 25 million that is going to come directly to our communities. One of the reasons why is that we were seeing that if you were going through the food bank, they were just being completely overrun at this point. The shipments weren't coming in. Now we have been able to expand it in a way in which all of the food pantries and anyone that is interested in helping deliver food, please let my office know. We have plenty of access to that. We will have pallets. We can have prepared boxed meals, especially for seniors. We've seen that a lot of our seniors in the community can't get out of their homes. We've signed up a lot of them for the Emergency Food Relief Fund. It provides them with non-perishables that one box itself has enough food for 3 days. And we are continuing to do that throughout. We're going to be doing several things. We've done a lot of partnering with our local labor unions that have come in to help. And mostly, I think for us, it's just important to hear from you. I want to let you know that we are operating remotely, but we're here. My staff is here. We are having a virtual town hall tomorrow with the Commissioner of Consumer Affairs. In particular, what we're seeing now is a lot of scams that are happening, phone calls that are coming in to people, to seniors, telling them that they have they can get COVID-19 vaccine shots, all of these crazy nonsense that we see. We also know that there's been price gouging in our communities. That's something that we can't tolerate. I'm really happy to be talking about some of these issues that will impact folks directly. You can go on my website, Facebook page, Instagram. You can see all of the information for our town hall that will happen tomorrow and how you can log in. It will be at 6:30, so we hope that you can all join us. We also did a live Telemundo town hall that dealt with issues with mental health. We're seeing that a lot of people in our community, especially the Latino community, don't have real access to mental health. Now we have the ability to make sure that we're reaching a broader audience, especially here in our district. A lot of people are suffering from either being at home for all this time, or the pressures of being out of work, not being able to pay the rent, food scarcities. So it's really important that we provide the service, and we can put up the numbers and we'll give it to Christian to distribute. People want to talk to professionals, you can do that. So I'll, obviously it's anonymous if you want to not leave your name, but it's good for people to have these resources here. And lastly, as you know, we were all quarantining at home. Doesn't mean that some of the criminal activity has stopped. We saw a lot of gang activity that's been happening in the district. Gang tags that were going up, especially in the underpasses of the Long Island Railroad. Yesterday, I went out with a couple of the officers, Officer Sapineri and Officer Connor, and removed a lot of the graffiti from underneath the underpasses and places that folks had called to let me know about this. It's I think it's important that we also show that we're not going to be intimidated by this, that we want to see our streets clean. We want to protect our community. And when people decide that they wanted to face our neighborhood, we're going to go right out there and we're going to take it down and demonstrate that we're not going to take that. I think it's really important that people know that we are going to continue to fight to maintain our community safe and free from that kind of filth that we see there. So with that, Chair, thank you so much for the opportunity. I hope that everyone is doing well. If there's anything I can do, please feel free to contact my office. I'm always available. And I hope everyone stays healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman. Christian, is the other caller ready or not?
Okay, Lou. So right now, sorry, I was muted again. So Assemblywoman Cruz has returned and she has headphones now. So hopefully that's taken care of. So we can mute her right now. And we also have James Manjaluso, who was also unable to speak earlier from the Controller's Office. He'd like to make a really quick announcement. After that, we should be good. So we have Assemblywoman Cruz unmuted now.
Can you guys hear me now? Is this a little bit better than before, Christian?
Yeah, very clear. Go.
Oh, fantastic. All right. So I'm hoping everybody's holding up well. I'll try to keep it short and sweet because I know it's a little bit late in the evening. I know that you guys are having an event later this week. So Christian, if you need anything from our office, do let Alex know. We're happy to see if we can get you some extra mask or anything like that that you guys can give out. We're happy to make sure that that happens. I wanted to give a little bit of updates because I haven't had the opportunity to join you guys in a little while. It's been really hectic. We actually, basically from the first day that the state declared a state of emergency, the governor declared a state of emergency, we turned our office into a food pantry where we have been serving approximately 2,000 meals per day, 6 days a week. So that's 12,000 meals. We're talking over 70,000 meals so far. We also provide baby products and food staples. The way we've been able to do this is through donations and partnerships with nonprofits, as well as local restaurants like Mama Catalina and a couple of other ones in the neighborhood that have been really open to the idea of helping. You know, they understand that even if they're not in the greatest of situations, neither are their neighbors. And so they've been really, really good at helping us. We recently had an event, it's outside of your district of the community boards district, but we served about 250 families in the Muslim community with staples of food, rice, oil, etc., as well as vegetarian meals to make sure that they had the food they needed during their holy month of Ramadan. We know it's not enough, so we're hoping to do one more event. We have been fortunate enough to receive donations from around the country of PPE, which we've given to nonprofits out of our office, as well as through the hospital, not only face masks, but shields and other items that we've given directly to Elmhurst Hospital. One of the things that we do is when we give out meals in our office, we give out 3 masks, 2 per person, as well, to make sure that people have what they need. And we, at the same time, have not forgotten that our job is also to legislate. And we've proposed several pieces of legislation that we hope are going to address the needs of our community during this very, very difficult time. One of them is the Dignified Burial Act, which seeks to provide people with the money that they need, regardless of immigration status, and having it go directly to the funeral home so that they can speed up the process. When a loved one dies, the last thing you should have to worry about is where are you going to bury them and where is that money going to come from. The other one is in a tax incentive for businesses. Right now, many people have lost their jobs. Part of what we do is actually help our constituents apply for unemployment insurance, which has been a very difficult process, but we've served probably more than 200 people so far with this issue. And from that was born the idea that we have a lot of local businesses who could use the tax incentives and that we want them to hire local folks. So along with Senator Bailey, we've introduced a piece of legislation that would give up to 2 years worth of tax credits for businesses that hire workers who've lost their jobs because of COVID and excuse me, and who live within 50 miles of the location of that business, so that it stays as local as possible. And the last piece of legislation, which is actually being introduced this week, would allow small businesses who've had a very difficult time staying open to be able to use COVID as a way to either renegotiate their lease or get out of their lease so that they can go and do a business elsewhere. We would, of course, want them to stay in our community, but we also don't want them to go completely broke. There's other pieces of legislation coming along the way. And the hope is that sometime in the next week or two, we can actually go back to the legislating piece, which we're able to do in the same way that we're meeting via electronic means. We can do that. We have to partner with amazing folks. I want to give a shout out to the 110th Precinct, who has been fantastic for everything we needed from them, from responding to emergencies, to crowd control, to actually donating to our office food that they're able to collect from their own members, from other places, from other precincts. At least twice a week, they come and bring us baby products as well as food. So we are extremely thankful to the newish commanding officer, as well as the community officers who just have been, I have to tell you, one of our greatest partners in responding to the needs of the community. We are going to be having we actually have been having a series of town halls. They're basically every Thursday for about an hour because we want to keep it short, where we provide information to our community on very specific issues related to COVID. We did one on healthcare last week where we had Israel Rocha from Elmhurst Hospital. We did one on landlord-tenant issues where we had someone from NHS and someone from legal services. We are having one on Thursday where we are having Commissioner Lorelai Salas from the city, as well as an attorney from Make the Road, to talk about workplace issues and rights during the time of COVID. And we had a small business one where we had the commissioner of SBS talk about the issues that are affecting small businesses. So we're trying to make it very issue specific and just really bring you the kind of information that you need. We have, although we have closed, like I said, our office physically to the public, our phone lines are open every single day, and we've been able to help hundreds of constituents with whatever they need. Our office does remain open and will remain open as long as we're able to find kind partners who help us provide people with the food that they need. We're open Monday through Saturday, 12:30 to 3:30. If you come across any constituents, I do not care if they're outside of the 39th Assembly District. I do not care whether anything other than do they have a need. Send them our way. Sometimes the lines are extremely long, but we want to help them. We provide pre-made, fresh, healthy meals every single day, along with whatever other donations we get. So whether it's rice, beans, canned food, food from a restaurant, we provide that as well. And every Wednesday we have a farmers market truck that actually comes and provides healthy vegetables for the community. And up until last week, because unfortunately the need was so high and folks weren't really listening to social distancing requirements, we were giving out every 2 weeks baby products, diapers, and formula, et cetera. We're going to do it by appointment only. So if you know of anyone that needs that, send them our way. And we also do emergency deliveries to homebound seniors. If you have anyone who's a homebound senior and needs food delivery, what we do is not only do we deliver while any of the city services kicks in, but we help expedite a connection for them to receive, whether it's Meals on Wheels or one of the other programs, to make sure that everyone gets what they need. And we've been working really closely with the parents in the community to ensure that the DOE is providing everyone with the distance learning requirements, whether it's a computer, a laptop, whatever it is that they need. We've been working with them. Hasn't been the easiest, but we're making sure that everybody can get that. And I think that's about it. If anyone has any specific concerns, whether it's on small businesses, on workers' rights, on anything, just feel free to call our office. Our team has been truly fantastic during this horrific time. I wouldn't be able to do what I do without the amazing team that really is holding it together. And so as much as you hear me doing all these things, it's really been because of the team that I get to go out every day. I don't have the luxury to self-isolate, unfortunately, because for a long time, there were no other food distribution opportunities. We were open even before the schools were open to give out food, and we're going to continue to be open as long as people need us. And so thank you, and let us know if there's anything we can do for you, your loved ones. And if there's anyone who is either watching this or from the board who has lost a loved one, my sincere and deepest condolences. We're here for you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Samuel. So Lou, finally, as far as the elected officials go, we only have James Manjaluso from the controller's office. And then I'll just close off with a couple of okay. James from the controller, you here?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, yeah,
Welcome.
I'm sorry that I couldn't make it earlier. I was actually covering Community Board 10 there in Southwest Queens and monitoring Community Board 14. A lot of board meetings are today when normally they wouldn't be.
You saved the best for last, man. Welcome.
Exactly. You guys are actually on the regular time, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, so I got 4 things. We're going to put all of them into the chat, and I guess Christian or someone else can send them to all the attendees. But
Sir.
Yeah, the first thing is the COVID-19 resource guide. I talked about this last month. This is the guide that has a lot of information for people who are homeowners, independent contractors. You run a nonprofit, if you're a senior, small business, if you're a tenant, there's specific information organized by those categories. The thing that's new about this month compared to last month is we have a lot of new updates, and we also have it available in traditional Chinese and Spanish. So I think that might help quite a few people who live in Elmhurst and Corona. And next week, we will likely have it in Bengali, which probably could help a few people in this district as well, and French, which maybe not as helpful here, but in some other areas it is. I also want to announce, well, I'll put the link in now so you can start sending it. Second thing, we have a newsletter from the Comptroller's Office that just came out on the 18th. We're going to try to put these out more frequently. I'll paste it in for you. It's a message. It has a message from the Comptroller. It also outlines some of the issues that New York City will be facing economically. It has a lot of information about the economy on the national level, some of the trends that we're seeing. It has some information about what the likely gaps will be in terms of the budget, in terms of revenue that will not be we will not be getting as much revenue as you can obviously tell compared to what we were initially projecting. And it talks about it's an update from the March 23rd letter, which I may have talked about last time. This new update shows that the gaps will be even larger. So if you're interested in some of those numbers, you can check it out. There's also some information about the summer youth programs. I know many people in Community Board 4 and Community Board 3, all the community boards really, are concerned about the loss or the potential loss of this program. And there's some information about why it needs to be protected. So you can check that out as well. I'll put that into the chat right now. And next thing is an initiative by the office to get unclaimed wages to people that deserve them. So if you know any people that worked on city contracts and they might not even realize that they're owed money. So we announced a campaign a few weeks ago to get people their unclaimed prevailing wages. Those are for workers who were cheated out of their pay because contractors on city-funded projects didn't pay the correct wage. So if you know anyone who may have worked on a project like this, you can go to our website, and I'll put the link in there, and you can search your name if you were someone who worked on a project to see if you are owed money. A lot of people don't even realize that they didn't get the money that they deserved. And there are quite a few people on our list that live in Corona and Elmhurst, or at least that was their last known address. So please, if you know anyone who's in this situation, please spread the word. Again, you can search your name there, and I'll put that link in a few moments. There's $2.5 million worth of unclaimed wages right now. So there's money out there that can really help people, especially during this crisis. The final thing I want to talk about is just quickly, our office just issued a special report on election day operations of the New York City Board of Elections. And the findings were not ideal. We basically found that the BOE generally didn't comply with federal and state election law on election day procedures. So there's a report that outlines the issues that we found there, and some of these issues are things that people commonly report. So if you're interested in that, I'll put the link in there as well. Again, thanks for accommodating me. I'm sorry I wasn't able to be here on time. And if you need, you can always reach out to me. I know many of you have my phone number and email. I can put it into the chat as well. Thank you.
Thank you, James. And to reiterate to all the board members who are joining or came later on, realize that you will receive everything that was discussed tonight, minutes, as well as any attachments or any flyers that came our way. You could expect that in the next couple of these. Thanks, James. Lou?
Okay, thank you everyone for calling in and videoing in and whatever else you might have done. Thank you for all the information that was exchanged here. It's all very important. And I wish everybody to be safe. And we're not going to have that last session, Christian.
Okay, that's what I was about to ask you. Okay.
No, because
Okay.
I'm going over the same thing that, no, I'm not doing it.
Okay. So Lou, before you close that, that's fine. I'm okay. I could speak to the elected officials offline about my issues. Thank you so much.
Go ahead. Are you okay?
No, I'm good. I promise you, I'm okay. I'm okay.
Okay. All right, because it is getting late. And
So it's just a reminder to the board members, guys. Just please remember, you will receive the flyer first thing tomorrow morning. We're just going to finalize it tonight. I'm working on it right now. 4 to 6 p.m. St. James Church this Thursday. We're going to be giving away halal meals in honor of Ramadan, as well as some non-perishables from 4 to 6. But we could use the help as early as maybe 2:30, 3 o'clock to the very end around 6:30 when we have to clear the place. So. Again, please don't show up. We may end up with too many volunteers. Call the board office, email the board office, call me directly if you can, and we will acknowledge you and we'll see if we can use your help. All right, guys, thank you so much. And really, Lucy, very quickly, something I want to be very clear. Christian did not necessarily give the money to the 110 precinct. The city council did a while back. If you guys will know, we received a stipend from the city council that allowed us to do several things for the community. One of the things that we did do was the precinct. The precinct did ask us for some paint, and I'm glad to report that it was a very easy thing. Thank you, Lou, for approving that. You put it through for us. It was a very, very small amount, but the effects that it had are going to be great. It manages to do all 4 districts, sectors A, B, C, and D for the next 2 or 3 months, and that actually might hold us out for, again, a very nominal amount. The payback is just so much better than what we actually put out. So, but thank you to come to me, to the full board, and to the city council for providing us with that money in the first place. All right. So Lou, that's it. You can take over. Thank you.
okay. Thank you, everyone, and good night.
Good night.
Right.